In this video, we'll be taking a look at tech for the Black Series 6-inch line. This is based upon his appearance from Season 1 of the Bad Batch and the very end of the Clone Wars series. So, it's a very nice action figure overall. There is one big blunder about this that a lot of people criticize greatly, and I can understand that. But overall, it's still a very nice action figure. I would say, between all the Bad Batch members, he's probably the most utilitarian, I guess. Meaning that he has the most accessories out of the entire crew. But overall, I'm happy to have this. He's probably the easiest Bad Batch member to get hold of the original crew. Between him and Wrecker, it's hard to say which one's even more affordable, because oftentimes they show up on clearance and they were overproduced. This was much later compared to Hunter and Crosshair. So his availability was much more prevalent. He could be found at retail pretty easily for the most part. I know I found him at retail every now and then. I actually got this guy on eBay back in 2000, or shortly after he was released. I think it was, sometime in 21 actually. So the order, well, I'll get into the order of how I got them in the next video. I'll save that story for Wrecker, who is coming up next. So Tech, interesting character. Not a whole lot I can say about him. Obviously, he's the brains of the group. And I guess the one scene that really sticks out to me is when Hunter is knocked unconscious and then he wakes up and then it looks like that Republic Commando simulator. And then you see Tech trying to wake up Hunter there, and they're trying to get him off to safety. So that's probably the one scene that really sticks out the most for me for Tech. And at this time, or at least time of this video, we don't know his fate. As of now, we know at the end of Season 2, he falls into the abyss, basically, and we don't know what happens to him. I would not be surprised if he shows up again in Season 3, and he shows up as like, I don't know, maybe it'll be some cyborg, or maybe it'll turn out like Echo or something like that, where he's got all these wires sticking out of him, and he's more machine now than man. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure if you're watching this review after Season 3 is concluded, you'll probably be typing in the comments saying, oh, this is what really happened, or maybe your prediction was right or something. We'll see. Only time will tell on that. I hope he makes a return, I'll say that. I don't think he really deserves to go out like that. And right now, from what I have seen of Season 3, it looks like it's just mostly Hunter and Wrecker going at it together, which is kind of boring at this point. Is like a skeleton crew even. Let's just go ahead and take a closer look at this guy. So he probably has the most unique armor of the bunch. The other three of the original look pretty close. Even Echo looks pretty close to the rest. But here he's got this more gray, silver armor. And he's not even totally armored. Obviously he's just got his pants here, and that's pretty much it, with the knee pads and then the leg armor and the boots. And then he has his abdomen there totally exposed without any armor. It's interesting. Pretty much unique parts all around. So the one main complaint about this action figure that is common among most people that have this is, okay, he has his lenses there. You can't see his eyes. We know in the series we can see his eyes through the lenses. But unfortunately, he didn't bother including his goggles here. I think the way Tech's helmet is designed is, these are actually his goggles, and his helmet fits on top of that. So he never really takes his goggles off. Well, Hasbro just molded it as one complete piece here. And they didn't even include the a spare set of goggles, or they didn't sculpt them on his head or anything like that. So this is probably about the only time we'll ever see Tech without his goggles on. Which is kind of unique, I guess. I have to admit, I'm not that bothered by it. I understand why that is a letdown on Hasbro's part. It hasn't really bothered me over the years. He has a pretty good head sculpt regardless. Looks good, it's painted good. Everything's crisp about it. Now the mercenary gear tech that was more recently released, Hasbro did include his goggles over him here, and then you're able to put his helmet on top of that. Problem with that, unfortunately, is it's an extremely tight fit, and I've seen some people have to really work at it to try and get his helmet on, just to be able to fit over the goggles. I'm not sure if they did the sculpted goggles on top of the helmet for the mercenary gear. At the time I'm making this, there's a whole bunch of mercenary gear tech sitting at my Walmart, so probably next time I'll take a closer look at that and see how that is. I haven't watched any videos about it up until now. But this helmet fits pretty good over his head. He does have this movable rangefinder thing here. Something unique. So his articulation is the exact same as the rest of the figures. Obviously there's a little bit of different sculpting work involved because of the different armor patterns. Overall, same exact articulation. And for his accessories, like I said, I think he's a little more packed compared to the rest. Unfortunately, Tech just carries one pistol, which, being for an extremely elite unit, I understand he's more of the maintenance guy or engineer, I suppose. And he's not going to necessarily be doing the combat stuff as much as like Wrecker or Crosshair or even Hunter, for example. But still, you think he would have a rifle of some sort. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a holster at all for the pistol. But what he does have a holster for is his tools here. So here's each one. This one's like a claw here. And you just pull these out of here. They just slip out. Unfortunately, I don't think he can really hold them well in his hand. Well, kind of. It's not perfect though. They're very skinny accessories. This middle one kind of looks like a mallet, and this one here just looks like a stick, and that's it. It's a nice utility belt. As you can see, he's got all these pouches around it as well. He has this extra large pouch here. So between his three tools, pistol, of course his helmet, and then the backpack here. Just kind of loose on mine and doesn't want to stay in the place too well. Yeah. Helmet could probably be a little bit of a better fit. As you can see his chin there underneath. Maybe if I position it right, it'd be a little bit better. Yeah. Just have to work with that. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to tell about Tech here. Bring out the other two that we've reviewed previously. So here's Hunter and Crosshair. And they all look really good together. And of course, you know who will be next. So would I recommend Tech for your collection? I would. He's fairly affordable, like I said. Of all the Bad Batch members, he's probably the easiest one to get hold of. And it doesn't matter if it's this Season 1 look or in his mercenary gear. I think they were produced in more quantities, and I imagine if people are selective, even if they're not particular about owning the entire crew, Tech is probably not the first one that most people go to. They probably go to like Crosshair or Wrecker or Hunter even. So if you really want Tech in your collection, pretty easy to get a hold of. Not much more above retail in price. If price is a factor for you and you only want one Bad Batch member, then yes, Tech is probably the one to get. But overall, he's a pretty solid action figure. If you can get over the thing with the goggles here, it's very nice. I'm happy to own it. He was the third Bad Batch member I got, I think. I'll explain the order here in the next video with Wrecker. Like I said, there's a little bit of a story behind that, so I'll save it for then. Make his video a little more unique. Overall, solid action figure. Happy to have him in the collection. Tech is an alright character, I guess. Is he my favorite? Maybe not. I'll probably save that for Hunter or Crosshair, I guess. Or even Wrecker. I kind of like Wrecker. But still, he's an essential member of the team. If you don't have him in your collection up until now and you're wanting to complete the team, I suggest you go ahead and get him. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There will always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support. And check out some links in the description if you haven't done so already. As always, thanks for watching.